Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and it's been a while since I've done a cam video and had some time, so I figured I wanted to go over a bunch of stuff. Some of it is announcements, some of it's updates, some of it's just sort of answering the frequently asked questions, so think of it as a FAQ video as well. And some of it is also sort of going over things that are going to happen in the future on the channel, which can be really exciting. Now, keep in mind, guys, when I say in the future on the channel, I could mean yet tomorrow, and I could mean 2 years from now. So, just because I said I was going to do something, and then it doesn't happen in a timely fashion, does not mean that I've abandoned it, or that it's not going to happen. It could mean that, of course, but it could also mean that it's just on the back burner. Oh, one of the things in particular that I have written down here is back burner major. So I just wrote down a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about. One is it's now Sunday. It's the weekend. Next week we're going to see the return of the VMX Show, and already kind of got an idea of who I want to be a guest on the VMX Show. Now, this is the third season. I did want to mention something. Unfortunately, I don't have the first season anymore. I thought I did have it backed up, but I didn't have it. And that, it's kind of gone because I deleted it from the server to make room for other stuff. And if anybody out there has the MP3s of the first season, it would be a huge help if you could, get them to me somehow. I'll try and do something special for you in return for that. But if not, no big deal. So sorry about that. This will be the second season's still available. I wanted to sort of put the first season all together in like a zip file and put it up on like Mega Upload or something, so that people could download it and all at once. But I thought I had it. If you guys remember, I did have a hard drive die on me a couple of months ago, and I lost very little, so to speak. Most of everything I got to save. And some things I purposely didn't save because I thought, I have it backed up somewhere. And for the most part, I did. Like, I had the John and Joe Show Season 1 on a DVD, so I didn't bother to bring that over. I thought I had the VMX Show backed up somewhere. I didn't. So, I'm not too broken up about it, but sorry to the people who came on recently and wanted to hear the first season. I'm going to try and get it. If anybody out there has the MP3 files, it would be really cool if you can get them to me somehow, and I'll make them available for the general public once again. Now, we're moving on Season 3, and after I do this video, I'm going to be working on a couple things. I'm going to be working on the Urban Legends of Video Game feature. I'm going to be working on the History of Zelda feature, and oh, you know what? Let me write that down. I did want to talk about that. Let me just put that in here somewhere. Alright, so I don't forget it. This is going to be a long video. And I'm going to be working on some of the intro to the next VMX show. Now, it's going to be a bit of a change in the way it's done, and it's going to be a really good change, and more people are going to be able to enjoy it, I think. One thing that you may have noticed, especially if you've been around for a long time, is that there are no longer time restraints for me on YouTube. Now, I think at this point, pretty much everybody has limitless time on YouTube for videos. There are a few people that don't because they had issues with community guideline strikes and copyright issues and whatnot, or for whatever reason they just don't have it. But pretty much everybody that I talk to is moved on to unlimited videos. Now, I'm not one to really do like really long videos. But for me, it's a huge convenience since when recording, I don't have to worry about, oh God, I got to cut it off here, right when I'm in the middle of a bit. And videos like this that are definitely going to be longer than 11 minutes or 15 minutes, I don't have to sit there and break it up into pieces, which is a real pain in the ass. So it's going to cut down my editing time a lot less and allow me to focus on more creative things, which is part of why you've seen sort of more things crop up recently, and I'm going to go over some of those. I've been expanding more, probably because the ideas are coming to me, but definitely because I'm less restrained for time. I have more time to work on creative issues now that I don't have to sit there and edit videos down to 11-minute chunks anymore. It's very time consuming to encode them that way. Because of this, I can upload the entirety of a VMX show, which is an hour, to YouTube. And it's not going to be like, you're not going to see me or anything because I record it ahead of time and I splice everything together and there's a lot of editing involved. So it's not going to be live or nothing. But, I'll put like a picture, like a logo or something. And for those of you that do like to download the MP3, because I know of a lot of people who like to download it and listen to it later, they put it on their iPods or whatever, that'll still be available. And all the different ways that you were able to listen to it before are still going to be available. You're going to get the MP3 download. You're going to be able to stream it off of an RSS feed. Google Reader, Facebook, whatever you were using to listen to it will still be available. But now, in addition to all that, you will be able to just have it on YouTube, which is going to be convenient. And also that's great because you don't have to worry about file sizes and things clogging up your hard drive. You can always come back to it, and that way it'll always be available. So that's a big thing to do with the VMX Show Season 3. It's going to be 12 episodes, just like normal, starting next week. Not sure exactly what day, it'll if Friday, Saturday, something. I'm thinking probably Saturday, because I've sort of made Fridays the day that I do Hey Assholes, and Sundays the day that I do Urban Legends. So, Saturdays kind of don't do anything usually. So, if anything, I'll probably stick it in there. So that brings me to the other show, the John and Joe Show. A lot of people have been asking me about this because it's been a long time since the first season, and people said, are we coming back for a second season? It's up in the air right now. I really don't know. We had 7 movies picked out, and we had a plan that we were going to record it around October of 2010, and that it would be released starting in December, and that right about now you'd be seeing the end of the season. Obviously, that didn't happen, and I do feel I owe you guys an explanation because a lot of people like the show, and and this is something else that I would have put on YouTube for more people to enjoy, and that would have made syncing things up so much more easier because the beginning would have been video. It would have been really cool. What I would have liked is to have the whole thing as video, but my camera only holds an hour. Maybe one day I can invest in a camera that holds more video, but for now, that's not something that could happen. But anyway, basically it comes down to Joe. I mean, we did the first one in the beginning of the summer, and I kind of released it, kind of in the middle of the summer, and he was kind of taking a break from all the things that he does. He teaches martial arts, he's a painter, he does a lot of different things, and he's always traveling all around the country and doing lots of really cool, exciting stuff. So it really came down to our schedules being tied together, especially since I didn't really want to do it in the dead ass of winter because of his disabilities, he doesn't drive, and I got to go pick him up, and it's 3 hours to go pick him up, and then 3 hours to bring him back, and then you have to spend a weekend here, so it would have to be kind of good weather for me to drive in, and then it would have to be, convenient for him. He'd have to have a whole weekend to be able to come over here and do it, which is not always, and then it has to coincide with my schedule as well, which is always hectic. So that's something that I kept talking to him about. I said, Joe, when are we going to do this? Joe, when are we going to do this? Let's sit down and, talk about when we're going to do this, come up with a schedule. And he would say, yeah, I'll look at my schedule and I'll get back to you. Yeah, I'll look at my schedule and get back to you. And it's just every time, and I got sick of hearing it, and I just said, why am I stressing myself over this? I'm just not going to mention it anymore, and it's been a long time since I've mentioned it, and he hasn't mentioned it. So what I'm going to do is, next time I talk to him, I'm going to bring this up one last time, and I'm going to say, look, I do want to do it, and I know he wants to do it, but we're concerned about whether or not it's possible to do it. So there's a few considerations. One is that we may just do it. We may do it. Things may work out in that sense. Two is we may just decide to do it when we can, which could be anywhere down the road. Or three is we could scrap the idea, and I could possibly do it with somebody else who can do it. The thing is, there's a couple of names floating around in my head of people I'd love to do it with, but at the same time, you have to physically be here. It's not, something you could do over Skype. Like I was just talking to Zach Sharps the other day about this. He's the guy. His channel is, I think, CG George Washington or GC's George Washington, and he also had another channel, Gamer Holocaust, and he's been a frequent guest on the VMX Show, and he's definitely going to be coming back for Season 3. And he said, well, I would do it with you. I mean, we could do it where we're watching the same movie at the same time, and we're talking over Skype, and you record it that way. But the recording quality would be so much lower, and any little glitch in the internet, like he loses connection for a split second, I lose connection for a split second. Guys, I live like in the middle of nowhere where there are connection drops here and there. And imagine if you're watching a 2-hour movie and an hour and 15 minutes in, the connection drops completely ruins the whole thing. So no, you'd have to physically be here, which means that it would have to be somebody that I know and trust to bring to my house, and who could spend a weekend here doing this. So that wraps up what I have to say about John and Joe's show. I'd love for it to come back. I know a lot of people have been asking me about it, and I'm going to bring it up one last time before I just give up for good on that. Requests issues. Okay, the request list is really long right now, and I've been trying to get it down. Have you noticed, ever since the Mega Man feature ended, and then I did Plants vs. Zombies ended, I've been doing 2 requests a day, every day instead of just 1, and I hope that would kind of speed along the process. And, I don't mind having a really long request list, but I know that, when somebody requests it, they kind of want to see it not, 4 months later, and I say try to be patient because it's first come, first serve, but I understand the frustrations of waiting and waiting and waiting, and sometimes, it's not even a subscriber who requests it, it's just some random person, and they may not even get to see it. So, I've been trying my hardest to get it down, but it's really long right now, so I just want to say a few things about requests. Please be patient. Keep in mind that I can't answer every request. I used to be able to do this, but the problem is the reason that there's such a long list. It's over 80 games right now. I used to keep it around 50. Now it's like 80, so that's really long. Try to understand that there's a long list. The reason this happened is because I've been getting so many more subscribers and so many more requests recently that it's kind of overwhelming. Like just yesterday, I cleaned out my email inbox of all the requests and put them on my list, and it was like 10 requests, and then this morning I had to add like 5 more. So that does happen. When I have a request and it's, something that, is part of a planned feature, I'll try to tell you. And, that brings me to another thing. You guys don't have to request something. If you want to request something, that's great. That's how I operate on requests. But basically, the requests are only there so I don't have to pick random games out of a hat. Sometimes I'll get somebody that'll ask me and I'll say, somebody new to the channel, and they'll say, could you do this? And I'll be like, well, I already did that. So could you do this? And I'm like, well, I already did that. Could you do this? Well, I already did that. They're like, oh man, I really want to ask for something. And I'm like, well, why? Why don't you just watch those videos? Those are 3 things you wanted to see that all are already there. You don't have to. Don't feel like you're obligated to do that. That being said, there's guidelines on the main page, but not everyone reads them, so I just want to go over it real quick. Request 1 game at a time, please. If you already have a pending request, I'm not going to take another one. It's just not fair. I used to just take as many as I can get because I was worried about not getting enough, but now I'm worried about getting too many. And it's really not fair if you request like 5 games, and that just pushes somebody back even further. So that being said, 1 request at a time. Once your video comes up, feel free to make another one. You can make as many requests as you want, as long as you only have 1 at a time. Another thing about requests is, please check to see if I've done it before you ask me for it. And if you don't know how to do that, it's real simple. Just go to the channel and click on Uploads, and it'll bring up a little search box. Type the name of the game, and if it comes up, I've done it. So don't ask for it. One last thing about requests is, if I tell you it's part of a planned feature, try to, use some common sense there. Like if you ask for a Star Wars game and I say no, it's part of a planned feature, it's because I'm planning on doing all the Star Wars games eventually. So don't ask for another Star Wars games. Next up, I want to talk about Urban Legends, a video game. A lot of people like this series. It's been really popular, and I'm really glad for that. One thing that I wanted to mention is a lot of people have been asking me how long I plan on doing it and how many episodes I have planned. And I kind of already answered that in the very first video, but I'm going to reiterate here. I have no plans for how long it will go. I have no plans for how many episodes there will be, and I really don't even have a schedule. I tend to do them on Sundays, but really I don't have to. I could do them any day. I could take a week off. There's no set schedule or length to that feature. When I first came up with the idea, I had like 18 episode ideas, and now that's expanded to like something like 25 or something. Of course, I've already done like 12 of them. So as I come up with ideas, eventually I'm going to run out on the list. I'm going to run out of ideas, and I'm going to stop doing it. But then if I come up with another one, I'll just do an episode. So it may become sporadic after a while. So I hope that clears up the issues about that. Hey Assholes is the next thing I have in here, and that's sort of the same exact deal. There's no set number of episodes or ideas or anything like that. It's the same exact thing. That one I plan a lot less. I just whatever's bugging me when I do the episode is what I'll talk about. Like I did the first thing and the thumbs up thing, and there's a lot of other things I can talk about. And it also, I have to be able to make it funny because it is. Like, it's not serious. Like, I am talking about things that are irritating, but at the same time, it's comedy, and everything I do on here, except for, like, history of stuff and Urban Legends is really comedy. And even the Urban Legends, I stick lots of jokes in there. People have asked me if I'm going to put up, like, images. No, the Urban Legends videos take a long time to do, and I'm kind of happy with that, but the Hey Assholes thing, I really don't want to make it the same exact thing. I spent a lot of time designing a logo, and I want to use that. And it's just something that I should be able to just pump out real fast. Just write, record, boom, you're done. I don't want to spend too much time on Hey Assholes. History of Zelda, I said that it would come out early 2011. Didn't say when, but that's sort of the same thing as the actual video game, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. The release date, early 2011. We really don't know when it's coming out. Or actually, we might know. It's been a long time since I've bothered to look to see when it's coming out. But I hope to get it out before Skyward Sword, because the way I have it planned is saying that Skyward Sword is coming out. But I don't know. I took like a really long break from writing it because of shit that happened, and I just started working on it again, like recording it, and I actually scrapped all the recordings that I had the other day and redid them because I wasn't happy with them. And I was afraid I wasn't going to be happy with the writing, but I read it and I was like, okay, it's still good. So I just want to let you guys know that History of Zelda is coming. Can't tell you when because I don't know. I do have another idea for History of that's going to be after Zelda, and I don't want to tell you what it is, but it's not going to be video games. So I'll tell you that. 4,000 subs. I don't have it yet, but coming very close. I think I'm up to like 3,800 and something. Not going to do a Q&A video because I feel that I've kind of run that well dry. So I'm going to do something completely different. It's going to be really exciting, and it's going to be a little bit interactive. So look forward to that. I can't tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be pretty cool. Speaking of which, I won't be doing any more contests. People have asked me about this. I did the what do you call it? The Guess the Song contest, and then I did this ridiculous Guess the Graphic thing, which was a huge debacle, and I stopped prematurely because it's just way too stupid and stressful for me. And I said, why did I do that? I don't know. I'm never going to do that again. So, no, there won't be any contests. I might change my mind in the future, but as of right now, I feel like it's a waste of my time, and I don't get anything out of it, so why am I doing it? Which brings me to the DVDs. I still haven't sent out the second wave of 4 DVDs, so because I want to send them all at the same time, and I sent everybody who was a winner an email, or rather a private message on YouTube saying, hey, I need your address, and I have one guy who hasn't responded yet. So I'm going to send him another private message, and if I don't get a response soon, I'm just going to send up 3, and then that guy's out of luck, you know. So I forget who it is, but I mean, if you're watching this, you know who you are. Did have another idea for a new show that I came up with Julie. I was, you know, when I'm with Julie, we do joke around a lot, and a lot of the jokes that I come up with, I say to her first and kind of gauge her reaction, and then they wind up on the channel. And I came up with a great idea for a show called Dickin' Around, but that's something that's on the back burner and may happen sometime in the far future, because it involves puppetry, actually. So, what does this say? Okay, speaking of Julie, people have asked me, is she going to be around again? Is she going to be doing commentary videos with me? It's been a long time since I've had Julie on the show, and that really is because she is so busy. And part of why she's always been busy, part of why she was able to appear so often previously is because she had problems with sleep. She didn't sleep too much, and she was up all the time and able to really be up at any hours. Like a lot of those videos that we did together were recorded in the middle of the night when she was up, and now she's actually been sleeping pretty well now. So, you know, the time that we have less time, you know, to do this, so the time we do spend together, we make it time for us, not so much time to do videos. We do want to do videos, but there's technical aspects involved that have become complicated. So, yeah, she'll return sometime in the future. We've always planned on doing like a big feature together, and that will happen, but that's also backburnered. Anytime she wants to come on and do a commentary, she's, you know, going to be on. But right now, it just hasn't happened. Another thing that hasn't happened in a long time is a GameCube update video. And I apologize to anybody that has subscribed to my channel because I did the GameCube update videos. I haven't done them for a long time, but I just want to show you part of the reason why you haven't seen them so long is storage. That's where I keep the GameCube videos, and it's like full, you know, and part of it is just money, you know. I've been spending money on other things, like newer games and other things that aren't related to the channel. And also another thing is, you know, when you go to the store and you have every single game that they have there, and there's less of a selection because they're selling all of them off and they're not taking as many trade-ins, you know, it can become harder to get the games. I have not in any way, shape, or form given up on GameCube game collecting, and it will return sometime in the future. I can't really tell you when, because I don't know. What else do I have? Some people have asked me, like, are you running out of, like, games to do, like, requests, like, oh, you've done everything, you're going to run out of games soon. No, not really. I mean, just, like, for the NES alone, there are 800 games, over 800 games. Have I done 800 NES videos? No, not even close. There are some systems that I take requests for that I've barely touched on. Like, I've only done a couple of videos of Game Gear and TurboGrafx 16, you know, and there are also systems that I could always add. I don't take PlayStation requests now, but I may in the future, and that's just going to open it up even more. I mean, and really, it's not that I'm down to just super obscure games. The other day I did Super Mario Land, and you might ask yourself, how could it possibly have taken so long for someone to request Super Mario Land? Well, it's just because there's so many games out there, so guys, don't worry about that. I kind of want to do another Let's Fail. I was watching Let's Fail and I Want to Be the Guy the other day, and I was thinking, well, there's sort of a sequel to it called I Want to Save the Kids or some shit like that. But I'm open to suggestions if anybody knows like a really, really hard game that would make a cool sort of Let's Fail, where I could do 20 videos and see how far I get, you know. So I'm open to suggestions on that. And lastly, I wanted to just talk about some of the stuff that's coming up. In February, we got Comic-Thon. And that's done, by the way. That's in the can. It's completely finished as of last week. Every single video is recorded, edited, and made. So February is going to be really easy for me. In March, starting a Lufia playthrough. Now, recently I bought, for the DS, this game here, Lufia Curse of the Sinistrals, which is actually like a remake. And so for anybody who's playing through that or got that, because this just came out, I'm going to be playing the original version, which was called Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals. And the reason I'm playing Part 2 first is because chronologically it's the first, and it's also the best game in the series. but I'm going to be doing the European version, which is just called Lufia because they didn't get the first game. And the reason I'm doing the European version is because there's a couple of really weird graphical glitches in the Japanese and American ones that were fixed for the European ones, and it sort of makes it easier. Other than that, it's identical. People have asked me about Doom, like when am I going to do another Doom thing? When I was really sick, I recorded a playthrough without commentary of Knee Deep in Z Doom for possible future use, but I don't know. I might want to actually redo that. Who knows? I'm planning on I'd done Doom, and then I'd done Doom 2 the next year. I'd done Doom in like 2008, and then 2009 I did Doom 2. So everybody kind of expected in 2010 for me to do, the next one, which would be Final Doom, actually, and then I didn't do it because I kind of wanted a break from that. And actually, I kind of got like a little bored with Doom, and I wasn't playing it. And then my friend Joey, who also was kind of in the same situation, linked me to a new WOD called Threshold of Pain, and I really got into Threshold of Pain. And then I started playing a lot of newer WODs, and I got like kind of the bug again. So I've been kind of thinking about doing Final Doom. Now, Final Doom is actually 2 games. One's called TNT Evolution, and the other's called the Plutonia Experiment or some shit like that. And they would be 2 separate features. Like I do a TNT Evolution, and I would do Plutonia. So as 2 separate things. So I wanted to mention that. But in case anybody wondered, yeah, I do have that plan. I do plan on doing Final Doom and Doom the Absolution, also known as Doom 64, and Doom 3, and all that shit. And I may even eventually do Resurrection of Evil, even though I don't have it right now. So there's that. So, yeah, really that's it. It's a long fucking video, but, at least I don't have to break it up. Thank you guys for watching. You've all been really cool. The people that have supported me all this time and, made this channel what it is, today. So that's really cool. I thank you all for that. And I got to go work on that shit. So I'll see you guys a little bit.